Hi, Tracy. My name is Manny. I'm with the hashtag show. Thank you so much for a few minutes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, congratulations on the second season of Unprisoned. Obviously, it's a very personal story for you. I thank you for being able to take such a such an important and also deep topic and being able to find balance with that and comedy and just being able to have a good time with it. What has been your experience now after seeing the first season and kind of reflecting on the show versus what you went through?
I mean, I'm not sure I'm ever totally going to understand what the show has meant in my own life. It's like mostly I feel really honored that I get to tell this story and that I get to accurately depict what it's like to be a family impacted by our system of injustice in this country, and that I get to show our lives as whole people, not like cardboard or two-dimensional cutouts of like criminal or foster child or whatever kinds of associations or images that brings up. I wanted to fully flesh out what that is, what that journey is. And maybe I'll figure out what it meant in the scheme of things 10 years from now. I don't know.
Well, hopefully we have a couple more seasons also to get further into it, which is great. And speaking of which, as now we're progressing into a second season, what have you learned about some of your cast, which are amazing, by the way? I think you picked a great cast that maybe now in the second season, people are going to see maybe different traits of theirs highlighted based on what you learned from them in the first season.
Well, I feel like that's a sort of a very organic process, maybe like an algorithm, like you click on a thing and then you get more of that thing, and they show me things about what they do as actors or even who they are as humans, and then that just sort of sneaks into the material somehow. And like ideally it's not so you couldn't necessarily track it because it's so kind of organic. um so I think what happens in season 2 is that this is a family that takes the healing to the next level, and they understand that if they want to be a better family, they're each going to have to look at what's going on inside them and what they're bringing to the family, rather than feeling like everything is happening to them. Everybody in the story needs to kind of understand, well, how can I show up differently in this family? And that's really what season 2 is about.
Yeah, I love the way that you've built several different relationships in the show that we can really invest in. Now we have the friendship between Mal and Paige. Obviously, we have the grandfather uh, grandson relationship between Finn and Edwin, and then just the dad daughter relationship. How do you go on and balance those in order for them to get enough story time to really develop? Because I think you've done a great job. I'm fully invested in everyone and it actually keeps pacing very, very well, I believe.
Thank you. Well, I feel like that's just about um really understanding that every person in a family has a valid viewpoint. And so you're naturally going to these other characters to find out how they think and feel about what's happening um, in whatever given thing is going on, right? I mean, even our secondary or our characters, like our supporting characters, like Nadine and Esty, it's like they're important people to mirroring our own growth, and they help us. And like they're both, the grain of sand in the oyster that creates the pearl. Everybody is that for everybody else. Like nobody is not invested in this family, so naturally you it's like the ensemble part just really kind of comes together naturally. Yeah, it's been a revelation. Obviously, these actors, I feel incredibly lucky. I will be on set sometimes and I will just be, the hair will stand up on my arms because they're doing such amazing things. And I feel like there are times where they give me a healing. They give me a healing because I get to see this thing that happened to me. And when they say it, when the character says it, then I go, oh, I've been seen, I've been heard. And I'm sure, hopefully, that's what the audience experiences as well.
Yeah, and kind of piggybacking off of that, my final question, being that Kerry Washington is your protagonist, is Paige, what kind of relationship have you built as really, I assume you guys are naturally becoming closer as, you know, she's playing this really pivotal role.
Well, it's really interesting, actually. Like, oh God, I mean, how do you say what our relationship is? One, I think, of trust. I trust her, she trusts me. We don't, we are so busy when we're in the production part of it. She's an extremely prepared actor and an extremely involved executive producer. So it's not like we're spending hours or even minutes, maybe minutes at the beginning of a day. She'll be like, hey, I was thinking about this, or she'll write me, you know, before, when she'll get a script, she'll be like, here are my thoughts. And then I usually go in and do a pass based on her thoughts. And, you know, obviously there's a whole team of people who are giving thoughts, but between the two of us specifically. But what's kind of interesting is when we do press, oftentimes that is the first time we are talking about something specific that happened on set. Because in the moment, you're just like going to the next setup. There's not a lot of time to like sit around and talk about what just happened today. So, but yeah, I think we're close, but we're close in a very interesting way that is not what you might imagine. It's not about like reading each other's journal. It's about knowing that we are tasked with this character, each of us, and we are fully 100%, 1,000% invested in this character from our own unique vantage point. And there's just maximum respect there. That's all I can say. You know, I don't need to tell her how to do what she does. I step back and, you know, yeah, I step back. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, I'm not a control freak.
Tracy, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the insight on the show. I've been a big fan of it now, and I look forward to
Yeah.
the rest of the second season as well as hopefully some more in the future.